I mean, I think that pursuing profits as the only mean of the company or the goal of the company, I think that's not the best approach. I think
Yeah.
it's the more the more I get involved in my company, the more I learn about other people's companies, the more I realize that having a company a profitable company with a mission statement has a much deeper impact on the world, right?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
yes, the profit is something that we need in order to keep the company, alive and stable and pay everybody's payroll, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but it's different when you do it in this way, because now you have a purpose and you can give your team a purpose to pursue.
Yeah. I completely agree. I said another way. If your team doesn't have a mission and purpose bigger than yourselves, when the times get hard or the trying is intense or things seem bleak, it's going to be a lot harder for them to make it through. Where if it feels like there's a higher calling, it's a lot easier. There's an expression that someone gave me, which is you can have people who are mercenaries, just in it for the money, or people that are missionaries, in it for the mission. And it's actually something in between. That's where you kind of got to live. Like
Right.
you want to be accomplishing the mission, but not doing it at like personal expense.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And again, it's a for me it's a journey of introspection, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the more I talk about this, the more I'm realizing other things. But I used to think about, I can help software engineers in Mexico to make good money, to have a good career,
Hmm.
which part of that it is. But um, this year I realized that I am also trying to help them avoid the pain of migrating.
Mm.
Right? I mean, I moved. It was my decision, but it, it's a painful process, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I wouldn't change it for a word. I mean, I met my wife here in Mexico. She's amazing, right? But there's also the detachment of your friends, your high school friends, your culture,
Hmm.
your family, right? So there is a cost for that. um, but my parents are still in Buenos Aires, right? So they come and go, or we come and go. But still you have that painful distance, right?
Totally. Yeah.
So the more I think about that, the more I realize I am helping other people to avoid that painful migration and
Yep.
being able to stay in Mexico, and make a good living, have a great career, right? And things like
I
that, right?
completely agree. It's wonderful. Where I grew up, there was this massive population of immigrants from a lot of places, Pakistan, but specifically the Philippines.
Right.
And they are so far away from their homes, and they're doing relatively menial labor, and they would just ship the money back because that was what they had to do to take care of their family from afar. And on one hand, it's very respectable that they did that, and on the other hand, you're right, it's heartbreaking. You're like, gosh, I wish they didn't have to be away from their family in order to figure out how to survive. So I agree. What you're doing it's a great thing.
Right. Right. Funny enough, when I was doing the migration, now I am a Mexican citizen, but while I was doing all that paperwork, they ask a lot of things, right? Like, you need a minimum income, you need, a lot of things. But I was hired by my own company, right? And the the legal representative of my company was my wife. So
Yeah, amazing.
every time they ask for for a document, right? They we will bring we brought to the immigration office a printer and a laptop, right? So so we need this document. We will print it, give it to them, right? This happened like 3 or 4 times in that same
No way.
meeting,
That's so funny.
until one point the immigration officer got so angry and he said, "That is not fair."
Why was he trying to do it in the first place, though?
Yeah, I mean, what happens is that usually they ask you for documents, and whatnot, and then you have to go back and go back
Yeah, yeah,
again,
yeah.
right?
But
So, but we need
that's a
the
great
the
call.
signature of the legal representative of the company. My
Yeah,
wife signed it. Here it
yeah,
goes,
that's
right?
right. That's
Every time
so
we ask
good.
for something, and the stamp. Here is stamped, right? And the header, the header with the company
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
We had we had papers with the everything was solved, right? Oh,
That's
it was so
really
funny.
funny. That's
Yeah.
a great story. That's really funny.